What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to Tale of the Tape. Brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment. It's the show about combat sports by guys that love combat sports. As always, it's your host, Craig, here with my co-host.
Your melee mouthpiece, Michael Johnson.
The melee mouthpiece. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. All right, so there is no event that happened last week. There is no event happening next week. So what we decided we would do for you, I think we discussed it last week, is we would like to go over some title matches that we would like to see happen. We're going to go over every division, and we're going to give you every matchup that we would love to see. And just for your FYI, next week we're going to do a pseudo BMF card that we would like to present to you guys and see what you think about our matchups and see how we did. But right now we're going to go into title fights, and we're going to start right from the bottom with the strawweight division. And the title holder is Zhang Weili, and we want to know who she should fight for the belt. My personal opinion is the former champ, Thug Rose.
And, I mean, I absolutely can understand why.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take a look at Zhang Weili real quick. Not that we have much to look at.
Not much.
I mean,
not much.
We've seen her ferocious striking against Jessica Andrade. But, you know, we've seen powerful striking there, too. But it was so fast that...
Good, strong clinch.
It's hard to tell, you know, where she'll end up at range and things like that. But, yeah, Thug Rose a great matchup because of, you know, the length of her style, the in and out movement. You know, it's hard to judge Weili Zhang.
It is hard to judge
Although
her.
she looked fantastic in her quick, you know, title win.
Nobody has ever put away Jessica Andrade the way she did. Jessica Andrade went 5 rounds with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She went... what was it? I don't know how many rounds, 3 or 4 rounds with Thug Rose.
Yep.
You know, she goes the distance. She's not a fighter who gets put away.
Yeah, if you look in her archives, she doesn't really get put away. So,
and she got put away handedly by Weili.
Now, for me, I would have to say I'd love to see her fight Joanna because of the striking matchup.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Joanna doesn't move in and out like Thug Rose did, because, I mean, that's how Rose beat her, really.
Yeah. But she uses her striking to keep people at a distance.
Right, so, I mean, I'd love to see what would happen because of the, you know, Andrade being the common opponent amongst, you know, all 3 of them. But, you know, Zhang able to finish her so quick that, you know, either one of them women to face her. And I would like to see Joanna... Because if she was to win, then that would set up, you know, Thug Rose to come and try to...
For the 3rd rematch.
To take the belt from her, which could be very, very dramatic and exciting television.
It could be. That could make for very good television. I don't disagree with that. I think the matchup between Weili and Jędrzejczyk would be an amazing matchup. Because it's going to go one of 2 ways. It's either going to be a strike fest or... Weili is as good as she looks on paper, and she does to Joanna similar what she did to Andrade.
Yeah, I mean, with either opponent, I believe, you know, with Rose or with Joanna, because, you know, either with that level of striking amongst the 3 of them, it's either you fight to a 5-round, you know, war of a decision or somebody gets stopped quick.
This is true.
You know, that's usually how it happens.
That's usually how it happens. Yeah. But I will say the reason why I would prefer Rose over Joanna is Joanna has 2 losses to Thug Rose.
Right.
She has a loss to Valentina Shevchenko. Her only victory comes recently over Michelle Waterson.
Right.
And, you know, even though Michelle Waterson is one hell of an opponent, and even though Michelle Waterson went to war with Joanna, you know, beating a girl who you beat to get a title fight, to me, doesn't put you in line.
I totally agree that, you know, Rose Namajunas would be the more deserving of the 2 fighters. You know, she is coming off the loss, but only the championship loss, you know, which is more of an error.
Yep.
But Yeah,
It's better TV for Joanna to win the belt and then have to defend it.
What I like about Joanna is, Rose been out a while since her loss because of how she took it mentally, and Joanna's never been out of it mentally. She's always believed in herself, And
this is true. Even and she's taken bad losses.
Even in the bad losses, she rebounds with grace. Even while talking herself up huge, and then having to eat the humble pie afterwards.
Yeah, man. She's kind of like Conor in that way. It's like doesn't matter how I lose, how many times I lose. I still think that I can beat anybody, and that's just a mark of a true fighter.
And I love that about her. Yeah. And she's always been one of my favorites.
So that's the fight. Those are the two fights right there to make. Weili needs to defend her title sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And whether it's Thug Rose or Joanna Jędrzejczyk, it could be an exciting
And make no mistake, Weili Zhang is ready for either.
For either fighter. And no mistake that, it's not going to be a walk in the park for anybody.
I have been following her lately on social media, and she is not playing around every day in the gym. Whereas, so Joanna, I see,
getting her eyebrows done.
Yeah, going out and getting, this and that done and whatever, having a fabulous night. None of that from Weili Zhang.
Yeah. Weili Zhang is just fight and all fight. So that's going to be exciting. Then we have the women's flyweight division with one of the best women's champs we've ever seen, and that's Valentina Shevchenko. Just coming in, getting her own division, tearing it up. Unfortunately for us as fans, there's not a whole lot in the talent pool.
It's real tough to even pick out, a top contender to face her.
Correct. The only thing that makes sense to me is the person who never lost the belt.
Yeah.
Nicco Montaño.
Right. I mean, she's had the terrible weight issues at flyweight. However, that is the fight to make. Valentina's never had to beat her for the belt, and she's never had to defend against her. Absolutely. I think she has to get up to championship level at this point, though.
Correct.
And I think that's how I slotted through the contenders in this women's flyweight division, who can bring themselves up to that level.
Yeah.
We have Valentina facing, Katlyn Chookagian on February 8th. Chookagian, with her recent wins, is the number one contender.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody cares to see that fight too much.
I don't think anybody cares. I think that's just a fight to give Valentina a chance to defend her title.
I would love to see Chookagian flip the MMA world on its head and get herself a win. I mean, that makes for great drama.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The only thing that sucks, though, is there's a 90% chance that if she won, she's winning by points.
And I feel like, it'll be on a bad night type of situation for Valentina if she does win. Perhaps a botched weight cut, which won't happen.
That won't
with
happen.
Shevchenko.
Shevchenko's
Or under the weather, a hidden injury. Something like that could maybe play to Chookagian's favor. But, yeah, Nicco Montaño is a fighter that I believe can challenge her if she's in the right spot.
She's got power. She has really good striking. She has a fairly decent ground game.
Yes.
I think Nicco Montaño is well underestimated. She basically ran when they did the Ultimate Fighter to make this division.
Yeah.
She became champ because she ran through every fighter she came across. And what was great was the fight we saw. Her versus why do I always forget her name? The girl with the black girl with the dreads that she fought, and it looked like it was going the black girl's way, and then Nicco won the fight at the end. That was who she was supposed to fight for the belt. I'm gonna find her name, but
not Eubanks, right? No, she was
Sijara Eubanks.
Was it? Okay.
Thank you. Sijara Eubanks, Sarge.
Yes.
Sarge was actually...
She was cutting way too much weight to try to fight at flyweight.
Correct,
Sijara
and they actually
Eubanks.
fought at bantam.
Yeah.
Her and Nicco fought at bantamweight. But they were actually supposed to fight in the Tough Enough finale.
Right.
But Sarge got injured before the fight, and she ends up fighting the nerdy girl. who's gonna be fighting. We talked about it last week. She's gonna be fighting Macy.
Oh, Modafari?
Yes. Roxanne Modafari. Nico fought her for the belt, which wasn't fair. She shouldn't have been fighting Modafari for the belt. Modafari wasn't ready for that fight.
No.
She should have been fighting Sarge. And then she fights Sarge and she beats Sarge. So not only did she get her belt, but then she fought the girl who she was supposed to fight for the belt, and she won that fight too. I think that she got unfairly stripped of her belt, and I think she deserves an opportunity to win it back.
But it's whether or not she can make the weight.
Correct.
And whether she can be comfortable at that weight class. Absolutely. I'm glad you said Macy Barber, because is she ready for any kind of, title contention? No. Is she ready for top 5? Yes. She has, the fight locked with Roxanne Modafari, who's currently ranked number 4, I think, because of how thin the division is.
Yeah, the thin division is, yeah.
But
although she is an excellent
Macy's
fighter.
skill set, though, I think matches up well with Shevchenko. I think in a fight with Shevchenko, she needs to polish, some of her weapons, but she doesn't have a fear like some other women in the division of mixing it up.
Yeah.
And she has real KO power, and I think she would stand with Valentina and either get knocked out or knock her out, So
I think crazy.
I think that nobody's gonna beat Shevchenko until maybe Macy's ready.
Wow.
Is maybe my prediction for the future.
Okay. I like that.
21-year-old kid, and she got tools like that. What's she going to be when she's 25? And Valentina could hold that belt that long.
Yeah. Oh, I even if Nico were to fight Valentina Shevchenko, I don't think that she would win. I just think in this division, it's so light that I don't think Nico's the best fighter to fight her. I think that Nico just deserves an opportunity to have an opportunity to fight the person that she's supposed to fight for the belt she was supposed to fight for.
And if she could make weight solidly at flyweight and run through a contender, even just one contender, I'd say then give it a title shot.
There it is. All right, now we have the men's flyweight division, and it's supposed to be Henry Cejudo, and there's only one guy in that division who deserves a fight against him, and that's the man Joey Benavidez.
Absolutely. The last win against Jussier Formiga, the TKO in the second round there, or straight KO. I mean, he was, completely asleep. Definitely Benavidez, by far the top flyweight that there is. I don't know what's happening with Cejudo, though, whether he's going to even fight for this belt.
This is correct.
So it's a little upsetting.
Which is why I also think that if Henry Cejudo were to vacate the belt, I think Joey Benavidez, we talked about another guy. And
I was thinking Davidson Figueiredo.
Yes.
With coming off the fantastic submission against Tim Elliott.
Exactly, Tim Elliott.
With the beautiful first-round guillotine. I think that would be the other contender if we have to have a interim belt here.
And would it be interim, or would it be just the belt? Because it would be a vacancy of Henry Cejudo.
Right. They normally, if he vacates it and states, I'm not coming back to flyweight, then why have an interim title?
Exactly.
So they wouldn't do that. They would just, throw it up for grabs. But
which is what they did with the featherweight belt. Because, technically, Max Holloway, he never faced Conor. He got the belt because Conor vacated it.
Right.
So, to be honest with you, I would rather see Henry Cejudo vacate the belt, Joey Benavidez versus Davison Figueiredo, and I think that would be an excellent matchup.
Absolutely, and between the two of them, they've destroyed the flyweight division, and they're the only two that hasn't faced each other.
There you go.
Yeah. So that fight makes a lot of sense too. I almost want to see that more, except for the fact that I would love to see Joe Benavidez, put a hurt on Cejudo.
I 100% agree, because I don't know if you remember, but I remember the matchup between the two of them.
Yeah.
And Henry Cejudo was extremely aggressive in that match, but I felt like Benavidez won.
I think so too.
But the decision went Henry Cejudo's way, which is what got him that second title fight against Mighty Mouse.
Right, and anytime you got a split decision between two fighters and both of them have got better, where's it gonna go now?
Exactly. You know? So either fight I'd like to see, but I'm in agreement with you. I would rather see Davison versus Joey.
I think so
than
too,
Henry.
Because I'd rather see Henry get whooped up at bantam. Honestly.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself. All right. Now we have the women's bantamweight division. Amanda Nunes, the most dominant female champ we've ever seen. Just a destroyer of dreams.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, there is only one woman in the bantamweight division who hasn't fought her or hasn't fought for the belt and looks like could give her somewhat of a battle, and that's Juliana Pena.
And that's, her current upcoming title fight aside.
Yes, correct.
Because the matchup with Germaine Rondame is a serious, threatening matchup.
Terrifying.
It's very dangerous.
Might be the best matchup she's faced.
Yeah, I mean, as close of a quality striker as she's faced in anybody. But we said that about Holly Holmes, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, every time we think someone could give her a fight. I mean, because I thought Cyborg was the fight.
We said it about Holly Holm. Maybe she can land that counter left. We said it about Cyborg. Maybe the aggression, the power would be too much. No, she couldn't even land the power, so it didn't matter.
The thing I like about Juliana Pena over Holly Holmes and Cyborg is her ground game.
Absolutely,
she has excellent wrestling. And, the closest, true wrestler she faced was Miesha Tate to take the belt.
Right.
And Miesha Tate was already past her prime.
Right.
Juliana Pena is just seeing it. She's
right.
just seeing her prime. She's an Ultimate Fighter champion. She's also a protege of Miesha Tate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is incredible grappling. I mean,
before her injury, she was already set to fight.
Yes.
Amanda Nunes. So this fight's been waiting to happen.
Right. I don't know if striking is a way to beat Nunes.
No.
I don't know if you can strike with her because her range is weird. She has a bit of a looping style, which throws people off, and her counters are just perfect. They're just perfect. So. You can pick out any number of these incredible strikers that we've seen, and she'll probably go to work on them. Perhaps the ground is a way to do it, but it has to be a focused attack. You got to get in there.
It has to be a perfect. You have to. First of all, you have to get in for the takedown perfectly.
Yes.
Because if you get hit, that's a problem.
It has to be perfect, and Pena does possess that ability.
Yeah.
Whether she can mix it up. Because she's going to have to exchange in order to get in that range. I do like it. I think that's the only other person I'd like to see besides the current fight that she's going to have,
Exactly. And that's a fight that's going to be exciting.
And, I mean, I like the way that, like you're saying with the grappling, I like the way Aspen Ladd's grappling matches up because she has that power double leg shot, but Jermaine dusted her with one punch.
With one punch. And if Jermaine dusted her, there's no denying that Amanda Nunes has the hardest hit in women's MMA.
Right.
So, if Jermaine knocks you out, then Amanda Nunes would definitely knock you out.
I would have
you
to
have
say.
to land, granted, no one lands better than Amanda Nunes, but you do have to land it, but so that you can't get taken down. But Aspen Ladd is definitely
not enough on the striking defense either. But Pena absolutely possesses striking defense.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
I have a question. Is there a fighter that we watch in the UFC with more growth than Amanda Nunes, who has come? Amanda Nunes was not somebody that was on anybody's radar.
No, she was getting beat when she first even came in the
UFC. Kat Zingano, right? Yeah, she lost to Kat Zingano.
And it's like we've said before, though, with fighters like, Masvidal and
Max Holloway.
When you turn a corner and you say, I'm done with this, I'm done losing, I'm done playing around, I'm going to put everything I got, and the people who possess it naturally, like she does, that's probably how she got by her whole life, not even trying so hard.
Yeah, because she was just so gifted.
Yeah, she probably got to the UFC on gift alone, on talent.
Yep.
And then, lost a little bit. Hey, why is this happening? Started putting in hard work and now is unstoppable,
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like I'm so amazed at her ability to where she's grown in the UFC. It really is great to watch. So.
Yeah, and we're talking about, watching a grappler go at her, and then we'll see that, and she'll show us crazy stuff on the ground that we'll be like, wait a minute.
She'll end up putting Juliana Pena in a triangle and then knocking her out before she taps, being like, no, I don't want you to tap. Knock her out. That'd be crazy. So we'll see what happens, but I've been wanting to see Juliana Pena fight Amanda Nunes before Juliana Pena's return to the octagon. To be honest with you, I thought before we saw Amanda Nunes, I thought we were going to see a Juliana Pena Ronda Rousey title fight. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Because she was on, after she won the Ultimate Fighter, she was on a tear.
Right, and when Nunes came in first, she lost.
Yeah.
So, you didn't think nothing of that.
Exactly. So I would love to see this fight.
So did Jorge Masvidal coming into the UFC. So did Cowboy Cerrone, and then they turn around. You just figure a certain time, it just happens.
It just happens, exactly.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson lost when he first came.
Did he?
When he first came. But now he's on, 12 fights in a row?
He hasn't lost a fight in a long time.
Think you just change.
All right, now we have the men's bantamweight division, the champ being Henry Cejudo.
Right.
The only fight that comes to my mind, the one fight I want to see, is Aljamain Sterling.
And the most deserving for this fight. With the great win last time, Aljamain, fantastic, conservative performance. He didn't want to, exert himself and get hurt too much, and won a great decision. And, he's had the surgery, so his wrist is got to rebuild, and he's getting better and better all the time. Mm-hmm. But the best skill set out of any fighter below, welterweight, I think, just the amount of wrestling ability, the amount of submission ability, and the unorthodox kicks and the boxing ability that he's possessing, and his striking, it gains like a new facet every fight he has.
I agree. Yeah, Aljamain Sterling is one of my favorites.
If anybody has grown as much as Nunes, maybe it's Sterling. Throughout his career, suffers the unfortunate setback loss to Marlon Moraes with the crazy head kick. Came out of nowhere, gets clipped with the knee.
It's one of those things, sometimes you don't lose a fight, sometimes you get caught.
Right, and that fight was real even until then. Could have went either way. And I don't like Henry Cejudo.
I hate Henry Cejudo. We don't even want Henry Cejudo to fight for the flyweight title, and we would love to not even see him fight anymore. I really don't like Henry Cejudo. I don't think that he is a fighter's fighter. I think he just happens to be good at what he does.
Incredibly gifted. Yeah. Has the work ethic. Obviously, he's just a tool, though.
Exactly.
I hate him. Personality-wise, and his fight ethic. Where are you, man? Where are you? Fight somebody.
Yeah, he does seem to be dodging. So we'll see what happens with that.
You got 2 belts. Somebody wants one.
Yeah,
give him a shot.
Ben wanted one.
Right.
Someone's Ben wanted one, and you're BSing around the block, holding on to the belts as long as you can. Mighty Mouse fought a lot, man. Let's get some fights in there.
That's the only reason Mighty Mouse had all them defenses, because he would. Okay, who's next?
Yeah, exactly. I'm ready to go. Let's get Henry Cejudo ready to go.
That's how he earned the pound for pound, rank of the best fighter in the world, Mighty Mouse. And because he was beating guys that nobody cared about even, but because he did it over and over and over, and without question.
Dudes were just coming into the UFC, winning a fight, and then getting the fight.
Without question who it was, he'd be like, okay, whatever.
A whole entire tournament dedicated to finding a fighter to fight Mighty Mouse, and then he fought him and won.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think I still believe he wanted out of the UFC. Yeah. So I think he did not bring his best against Henry Cejudo and allowed Henry Cejudo to win that fight, because
it definitely makes sense. And now here we are stuck with him when we got all these great fighters at bantamweight, especially. Yeah. I mean, flyweight is, thin, but I'd love to see how Pelter Jan does in his next matchup because I'm a big fan of his too. But Aljamain definitely top in line for the title fight against Cejudo. If Cejudo was to never fight in the UFC again, I would not be upset.
No.
And Aljamain versus Jan. If Jan takes the next win, he's fighting Faber, is it?
Or Faber.
So
we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
In the women's featherweight division, once again, Amanda Nunes holding that title strong, putting a grip on it. She does have a fight coming up in the bantamweight, but not yet in the feather.
Due to lack of contenders.
Talent. Yeah, contenders. I'm actually surprised that just because the lack of contenders, they didn't have them defend this title at the featherweight. Maybe they're just doing it because she fought. Did she fight Holly Holmes at feather?
Holm?
Yeah, Holly Holm.
Did who fight? Did Amanda?
Did Amanda Nunes fight her at feather?
I believe so. Was it?
Because I know the only fight she...
No, she defended it at bantam with...
So then it would only make sense that she would fight at feather. I don't know why she's defending it at bantam. Both fighters can make bantam. I don't know. Whatever it is, but there is only one name in the featherweight division now that Cyborg is gone, and that's Felicia Spencer.
Yes, absolutely. It takes a beating from Cyborg, which
eats a beating.
Which could show us something, though.
Yeah.
Like we were saying with Amanda Nunes, we'd love to see her tested on the ground. And I don't think, in these heavier female weight classes, bantamweight and featherweight, there's no better grappler than Felicia Spencer. I mean...
What she did to Megan Anderson?
There's maybe no better raw power, strength of body than Felicia Spencer when she, she gets that anaconda grip on you. And it's devastating. And boy, can she take a shot.
Yeah. Who's got a better chin in the women's fight in women's MMA
martial arts?
Nobody. I don't think anybody has a better jaw than Felicia Spencer,
no.
And she proved that thoroughly against Cyborg. She took every shot and still walked forward.
And we did say that you're gonna have to come through some of that striking to get your hands on Nunes, and nobody else could do it.
Yeah. If there was someone who could walk through punches, and it'd be Amanda Nunes' punches.
Maybe even after the Cyborg loss even puts her in better standing, to fight a vicious striker, to understand what you're going to have to go through in order to get your grappling exchanges. That makes a very interesting fight.
Very interesting indeed. And I would love
who
to
else
see
is there for
to
the fight, except maybe Leah Letson, who's the new up-and-comer or whatever, ranked what, number 3 or 4?
Something
because she's had one fight in the UFC
and
though.
Won it.
Yeah.
She had a fight and she won it in some type of fashion.
And now she's like ranked number 3. So yeah.
All right, now we have some of the more exciting fights. I don't want to say the better fights, but some of the more exciting. You got the champ Max.
We got older weight classes here, you know?
Fuller weight classes.
Right.
You got Max Holloway, the reigning featherweight champ, the seemingly unbeatable, who is defending his belt against
Alexander Volkanovski. Absolute number 1 contender, string of knockouts.
Definitely.
Through the featherweight division.
So a guy going up against a guy who's obviously earned his title shot. So we have that coming up. Whether he wins or whether he loses, whether Max wins or loses, hypothetically speaking, we're just going to say Max wins. Who does he face next? And there's 2 guys in this weight class that I think have earned a shot at Max Holloway, and that's Zabit Magomedsharipova and Yair Rodriguez.
Absolutely agree. Both coming off the big wins. Probably the best wins of their career.
Yes.
Yair coming off the win over Jeremy Stephens.
Yeah.
Super entertaining fight. Had Jeremy wicked hurt to the body. Had to endure the ground game in the 3rd round. Jeremy came out of nowhere and starts putting pressure on him. So, good fight for Yair. I think he has to fight somebody a little bit better before a title shot. I wouldn't mind seeing the 2 of them fight each other to become the number 1 contender, because Volkanovski is clearly the number 1 contender and deserves, Holloway first. Zabit with the great win over Calvin Kattar. the fight's a little questionable, though. He had to see his way through a little danger there as well.
We don't know what would have happened if it was 5 rounds.
The third round was tough for him. Kattar definitely started pouring it on. I think Zabit has the better win here. Stevens maybe on the tail end of his career, always a danger, always a threat with that huge power. But Calvin Kattar definitely the rising star. So Zabit with the more impressive win as of late.
I agree.
So I'd say, and Zabit matched up against Max Holloway is great, and Yair. I mean
it's all this three-way
interchange.
Yeah, this three-way matchup is amazing.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think we put it in our card that we want to see a Zabit Yair fight.
I mean I think Zabit ranked at 4 or something like that. Yair at 6 or so. Make them fight it out for number 1 contender.
I would love
for
it.
Whoever wins out of Max.
And I just think that the two of them make such an exciting fight that it would set up for a big, popular title matchup against Holloway or, hypothetically, Volkanovski.
Because you know what, they would match up against Volkanovski well too. Because the styles would also, it would be also a very electric fight against Volkanovski, either one of them.
So we'll see what happens. But Max Holloway, Zabit, Yair, all fun fights that we want to see. And we look forward to seeing what the UFC puts together. In the lightweight division, arguably the most dominant fighter in UFC, Khabib Nurmagomedov. I said that right?
Nurmagomedov? No, Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov. Damn it.
But you got Magomed Sharapov, no problem.
I did, right?
Something about Zabit's name don't give you trouble at all.
Khabib's name is just so confusing.
Just call him Khabib, man.
I know.
Everybody knows who you're talking about.
So Khabib, one of the most, if not the most dominant champ we've ever seen.
I give him definitely the most dominant fighting style.
Yeah.
That chain wrestling pressure is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it just seems like you
just
can't overcome it.
Swarms and swallows you.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
Once he gets hands on you, it pretty much becomes a done deal.
And I mean, how do you pick a guy to match up against that? We got Tony Ferguson coming, who's got the incredible jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
His scrambles are great. So, I mean, it really does put him in a good spot to defend against Khabib. I don't think he's worried about getting taken down. But
that fight's in the works. That fight,
right.
that's a done deal.
Yeah, I mean, the ground and pound pressure of a guy who has that wrestling, the best thing, I think, is to, stop him from taking you down.
Yeah.
And the best guy by far is Justin Gaethje.
Gaethje, man. I mean, we got to say, we don't know who's going to win the Khabib-Tony Ferguson fight.
Right.
Hypothetically speaking, we're all talking about the current champs right now.
Right, we're talking about current title holder.
So we're gonna give Khabib the benefit of the doubt that it hasn't been the challenger. He is just the greatest. He wins this fight, and only one guy with the unused wrestling ability to take down Khabib, a guy who can endure lots of damage.
And I think
Justin Gaethje.
If he can just use his wrestling ability to fend him off, then I mean I think that's maybe not, I don't want to say easy, but a fairly easy knockout for Gaethje.
I mean, we all know Khabib's jaw is not made of steel.
We've seen it touched.
Yeah.
We've seen it touched by Michael Johnson, and we've also seen it touched by Poirier a little bit as well, not with even clean shots.
No.
And he was in trouble still there. He even said it, too, in the post-fight press conference about the combination from Poirier.
Oh, really?
That he had landed. He was like, I had to face a little bit of trouble. He started hurting me a little bit. So, I mean...
And Gaethje,
and he doesn't react to the punches that well. You see him backpedal straight and stuff like that. If he catches a right hand from Justin Gaethje, I think he'll go face down.
I agree.
Because anybody will.
Anybody can. Anybody can be knocked
out. That's that
out.
type of power, too, that, Justin Gaethje has, that anybody. He punches anybody on the jaw, he's going to put you face down.
And, this isn't like a fight that's, been, largely, talked about or anything. It's been more about the Tony Ferguson and Khabib fight. And I got to be honest with you, since we started talking about this, I want to see Justin Gaethje versus Khabib more than I want to see Tony Ferguson.
I love Tony Ferguson.
Love him.
And I want him to succeed for sure. But I've said it in past episodes. I believe that Justin Gaethje will be the title holder at lightweight when his time comes. I believe when they give him a title shot, he will win no matter who he's facing. I think he's going to be the lightweight king.
Wow. That's
I've said that before about him.
Yeah. I mean,
and, especially after the Cowboy win, I think, like the Poirier loss, I think that's a bump in the road from a guy who, had the supreme talent.
But here's the thing.
And then he had to realize he had to stop messing around, and now he's
and
not.
That's the thing. Like, you have a guy who still hasn't even utilized his greatest asset.
Right.
Like, he's decided, like, I'm just going to stand and brawl with people. But, like, what happens when he says...
How good is he going to be on top of you, punching your face into the mat? God. His ground and pound has got to be terribly vicious,
Like, I want to see what happens when he says, you know what, enough is enough. It's time to start using my wrestling. So we'll see what happens there.
And, I mean, we talked about it, too. Kevin Lee, he's on his way up.
Man, Kevin Lee against Khabib
and
is
produces
dangerous.
He has a defensive wrestling skill set that is incredible. Very, very hard to take down. And another guy strikes great, super power.
Not just hard to take down, but he can take you down.
And yes, he's a chain wrestler as well as Khabib. Not that same pressure.
But nobody has that.
And yeah, that's also very, very interesting, especially with Lee's, big knockout coming last fight against Gillespie.
Knockout. That was incredible. So that's another fight that, like, it might not be high up on the radar, but it's a fight that's really has really good contention potential. So, I mean, wow.
Everybody's thinking about Conor and all that, and
I'm not thinking about.
He is
Conor.
definitely not in the in this card here. This is about titles.
Yeah.
And
and
he's
Conor's
not in the question.
Contention.
Maybe on the BMF card.
Yeah, I'd put him on the BMF card in light or featherweight.
Right.
So we'll see what happens there. Now we get into the welterweight division. The champ being Kamaru Usman. Got a fight going up against, the terrible, the awful, the villain, the bad guy, Colby Covington. But, for argument's sake, he wins that fight. Who does he have to fight next? And I don't want to overuse it, but there is only one person in the welterweight division who deserves the next title shot, and that's the baddest mother effer in the UFC, Jorge Masvidal.
Totally agree. I mean, how can you pick anybody else?
Exactly.
I had said last night to you, that I want to see Colby beat Kamaru. I know that's crazy. Don't everybody attack me. Nobody likes Covington. If you do, just don't watch this show.
Yeah.
But
please unfollow me on social media, and also see me in the street, see someone about to shoot me, and turn around and walk the other way. Don't even speak up. Like, that's how serious it is.
But, as far as drama and title fights, I'm not a huge fan of Kamaru Usman. Yeah. He's not even really good at the war of words with Colby Covington. I fear that he's losing that.
You're losing the war of words to Colby?
That's terrible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you should be slaying him.
Yeah.
It should be so easy. If you could think about like a fight hype between Masvidal and Covington, Covington would be slain. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Like,
just on the confidence of Masvidal alone, he's going to be slain.
Usman, his confidence seems, peppered with fear of Covington. Mm-hmm. So
he seems confidently unsure.
I want to see the Covington hype train build just a little more before it gets derailed and exploded, because I want to see him take that belt, and so we can see Masvidal
Just beat the bag out of him
for the belt.
You know what?
Because I'm not really big on Kamaru Usman. You know, he didn't show me nothing too crazy. Okay, you beat Tyron Woodley. That's fantastic. You know, he's never
beat Damian Maia.
He's never put anybody away.
Nope.
Always
decisions.
Ever. He's put away like one fighter in his whole career, and you know.
You know what?
That doesn't make for big time title fights.
As much as I hate Colby Covington, the storyline that you put out there,
I could be okay with him beating Kamaru Usman because it's Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me that upset, you know?
So I actually, like, as much as I would never want Colby Covington to be able to say that he is the undisputed champ,
right.
To see him win and then lose to Masvidal would be the best birthday present.
And then he'll
ever.
probably carry around his belt forever, and you know, but he'll just make himself look even worse after losing. You know,
and he'll make excuses for why he lost.
Right.
You know.
And then try again and lose again, like, or even have to fight Usman again for like a #1 contenders match, and Usman gets him. Cool.
That would be dope.
But yeah,
and then he just starts losing every fight.
Not so much of a fan of like Kamaru Usman as the title holder in general.
Yeah.
Decent fighter, obviously deserves the belt, beating Woodley. But I think that's only because Masvidal hasn't had a chance yet. Like you said,
I agree.
It's
Masvidal is waiting to bless him.
It's absolutely
baptize him.
Gonna be Masvidal's weight class. Like I'm saying about Gaethje being the lightweight king, Masvidal will be the welterweight king.
I mean, I said it right from the beginning, our very first show. My favorite welterweight fighter, Jorge Masvidal, because he has the best hands in the UFC.
He's been one of my favorite fighters since he fought Ray, who is the protege of Kimbo Slice in the street fight videos.
Yes. Yeah, that was that. I watched that fight a few times. It's so awesome.
Right.
All right, now we have in the middleweight division the champ, Israel Adesanya, potentially scheduled to fight the undeserving Yoel Romero.
Right.
But if we had it our way, there is a fighter we would love to see match up with Israel Adesanya.
And I don't know if you guys are thinking of the same person we are.
But if you are, that's because you have a great mind for MMA. And that's Jared Cannonier.
Absolutely.
Such an epic fight.
Cannonier, still underrated somehow. Just finish after finish. I mean,
domination after domination.
Super beast at 185. Again, another fighter who's just better and better every single time.
Yep.
Israel, I don't want to say he got the easy march up to the title.
Yeah.
But he got the easy march up to the title. Let's just say it. I mean the Gastelum is the hardest fight he's had.
This is correct. I mean, the fight to get him to Gastelum was against a done-for Anderson Silva.
Right.
And a fight that, like, went way too long. And then Gastelum was a tough battle, but I feel like...
He got hurt too much.
Yeah,
Look at what Darren Till just did to Kelvin Gastelum.
Oh, ran through him.
I mean, styles make fights, but okay, so what does Darren Till's style look for against Adesanya? That's a fight I'd love to see. But I think, Darren's got a little work to do at middleweight before he's in title contention. Yeah. Jared Cannonier, though, my clear favorite to fight him. You could bring up Yoel Romero, but I've already said I don't think he's deserving. Nope. Paulo Costa is obviously deserving of a title shot.
Once he comes back.
Right. But I really like Jared Cannonier.
Oh, I love it.
There's no way that I would put Yoel Romero in with Israel or Costa over Cannonier. If I was going to put somebody in, before Costa, who's earned it, because they said it was a #1 contenders fight.
Correct.
Then Cannonier is the clear choice at middleweight.
And he's just an exciting option. I think that he matches up really well, and I think that Israel would be in danger against this guy. And Jared Cannonier is not just throwing wild punches.
No, he is a technical, orthodox Muay Thai striker, and I've seen it in Adesanya's past in kickboxing because of his unorthodox style. You know what I mean? His wide movement, his low hand holding to, where he holds his hands out.
Yeah.
And likes to lean in with his shoulder, kind of like Venom Page.
Exactly.
I've seen guys expose that in the kickboxing world with him, and Jared Cannonier is the style to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see the fight.
I do love Israel Adesanya.
I love Israel Adesanya. I don't even want to see him lose the fight.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him lose the fight, but I think that if someone was going to give him trouble, it could be Jared Cannonier.
That would be the title fight I want to see at middleweight.
Do you know how I see it? Not ending exactly, but when you said it, it immediately made me think of this. I see it ending the way the undefeated streak of Michael Venom Page ended, with a hardcore leg kick, dropping him to the ground
while he's off balance.
Yep.
on one of those unorthodox attack, a wide punch, or him coming from a wide hook while Cannonier comes with a straight shot.
Pull and pop over.
Absolutely.
All right, now we have probably one of the most long-reigning divisions, and by that I mean one of the most exciting divisions for the longest period of time.
Right.
The light heavyweight division, the greatest champ that there's ever been, Johnny Bones Jones. And, now that we know this, John Bones Jones is set to fight.
I would say the greatest champ, Anderson Silva, ever, personally. But
ooh, it's tough. Anderson Silva lost.
Yeah, John's still got the numbers.
Yeah.
Anderson has the character.
Anderson does have the character. He does have the character. And I do think that he has the better wins, like the way he won. But John has also faced, I think, higher level opponents.
And John Jones blocked me from commenting our show on his Instagram post.
You're lame, John.
That's whack. Show some love, John. Come on. Just trying to get the show out, bro.
Yeah, we just trying to grow, bro. We trying to come up. How about you help some brothers out, yo? Don't be a hater, be a participator.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he is actually officially.
We will never deny him.
No, we can't deny him. He's officially scheduled to fight Dominic Reyes to defend his title.
February 8th.
Yep. So that's already happening. We also have a fighter in mind, or more than one fighter in mind.
Like you said, stacked division.
Division. Assuming that he does to Dominic Reyes what he does to every other fighter, and that is to find a way to win. I honestly want to see him face Corey Anderson. And the reason why I want to see him face Corey Anderson is because a while back we kind of talked about this. There was an article in ESPN, How do you defeat Bones Jones?
Yes.
And there was a bunch of coaches talking about, he does this. Every time you see Jones, you don't know what Jones you're going to face. You think you're going to face the striker, and then he comes in the wrestler. You think you're going to face the wrestler, and he comes in and he does something different. He goes, but all these coaches kept saying different things. And then Corey Anderson's coach came in and said, I know exactly how to beat Jones. I'm teaching Corey Anderson how to do it, so therefore I'm not going to reveal the secret.
Tell you nothing.
Because when Corey Anderson faces him, he will defeat him.
Then you'll find out.
So that to me, that made that had me percolating, gave me the semi-chub, and was like, damn.
And another fighter that, with the continued growth.
Yes.
These are the guys that get their way to the title because they refuse any other path. I mean, there's no plan B. It's get to the title, figure it out.
Or die trying.
Yeah. And Corey Anderson with that great wrestling and, the great striking.
Huge knockout win over the up-and-coming Johnny Walker.
Yeah, and he's on a tear with the 3 wins before that. That's 4 in a row for Corey Anderson over some big names, Glover Teixeira. He's doing big things in the light heavyweight division. Who else would you say? I love the last title fight Jones had against Santos. Unfortunate with the knee injury. Yeah. How the man still went 5 rounds is, crazy to anybody.
Yeah.
So that rematch looms big in my mind.
That rematch, I feel like if Thiago Santos can get to 100%, there is no way that match cannot happen. That match has to happen. Because it went to a split decision, as John Jones, as the greatest champ that there ever was, as arguably the best mixed martial artist that the UFC has ever seen, you need to prove that you can beat him.
Right.
Either a decision or a finish.
Right. Yeah, because, you only want a split decision against a compromised fighter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's something I'd like to see run back. And, you got guys making their way up again, all over the division.
Over.
Yeah, Corey Anderson for sure.
Just the most exciting, the most exciting contender right now.
Yeah.
So I would love to see it, but I am really excited for the Dominic Reyes matchup.
Absolutely.
I think that Dominic Reyes might be the best fighter in the lightweight division. Before we found out about this fight, we had him going up against Corey Anderson.
Right. I wanted to see the two of them fight each other just to see who would fight John.
Yeah.
But if
And
Dominic
what a great
gets
matchup that might have been.
That really would have been a great matchup, and would have clearly told us who deserves to fight him.
Yeah. To be honest
But-
with you, I'm surprised Dominic Reyes gets a dominating win over a guy who wasn't even in the division a month ago, and now
Yeah, I mean the win over Johnny Walker for Anderson, plus the 3 wins before that
against guys in the division.
Right, compared to compared to Dominic Reyes putting out Weidman, who's not only wasn't in the division, coming off how many losses in a row.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know sometimes where all the UFC's head is at.
I think it's more about what have you done for me lately type of thing. Dominic Reyes has gotten a win. He's undefeated. So an undefeated record. Sometimes undefeated record, you get a title shot after one fight against anybody.
And, I'm interested to see who is, representing some of these guys. Because maybe he's just got the better manager.
There you go.
Maybe he worked out the better contract going into the Weidman fight.
Okay.
Because, maybe you think leading up to that, why is he going to fight Weidman? You take the chance of getting beat by the former middleweight who's on the losing streak.
Yeah.
When you're undefeated on the way to the title shot,
Yeah.
he probably said, okay, I'll fight Weidman. Title shot after, put it in writing.
Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense. I'll fight him, but if I win, I get to fight for the belt. And he won. He won in a way that he didn't take. One didn't take a lot of damage.
Or maybe he even says, if I win by first round knockout, I get a title shot.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, there's maybe not a super high chance of that. And he's training his whole camp. I'm gonna knock this dude out one punch.
Yeah. There it is. So all right, well, and then we have finally the heavyweight division. One of the greatest heavyweight champs we've ever seen. One of the most electric strikers in the division. A guy I'm a huge fan of, Stipe Miocic. He needs to have a title fight. He needs to fight somebody who can, give him the business.
Right.
And for me, there's 2 fights. There's the super fight of John Jones, which I want to see, but I'm not oh man, I need to see this fight.
Then there's also the Tyson Fury boxing match super fight that's really interesting too.
That's actually the most interesting.
I think,
But then there's a fight that I think is under the radar, a guy coming up who I think could actually put Stipe in a lot of danger, and that's Curtis Blades.
I love it. We seen with the fight with DC that when the grappling is working, like in the first fight, that Stipe is hesitant in the exchanges, and you can land a lot better, when you make him be mindful of the takedown. Yeah, and I think, besides DC, that Curtis Blades is somebody who could definitely do that. I think he's a more explosive style of wrestling, not as good as DC.
Correct.
I ain't never going to say anybody's a better wrestler than DC.
Oof, yeah. I mean,
But,
damn.
But the explosion of Curtis Blades, and the size of him, much different size, and that would be a lot of trouble. I like Francis Ngannou,
I do like that fight
because
a lot.
he's another guy that I think, has flipped the script. I think almost all of these matchups that we talked about, a good portion of them are people that, that decided one day that, I'm going to be the best at this.
Yeah.
And Francis, I think, has found his focus now. And after the loss to Stipe, I think that, he's ready for it again. I kind of like this kid Rosenstrike a lot.
Love Rosenstrike.
Derek Lewis always in the he's maybe that guy.
And now
we might be seeing his refocus.
Yes, now that he's cut that weight, we saw him go the distance in a fight.
Right.
We saw him fight a lot more technical. He's looking really good. So
But
those are some guys.
Rosenstrike with that flash KO power. We'll see how he continues. I mean, he's got some ways to go, but knocking out legends now. So.
And we all know that Stipe Miocic is susceptible to the knockout. He got knocked out by Daniel Cormier, so that's exciting. A couple pieces of news I'm glad that we had a few minutes. Is we got the title fight again, Wilder versus Ortiz.
Yes.
That was a nice, good knockout.
Yeah, 7th round KO for Deontay Wilder.
Did we not see a more technical Deontay Wilder?
I believe
wild?
so. I believe so. Ortiz definitely put out some good power shots early on and took probably the first 5 rounds. Maybe. You know, I'm not the best boxing judge.
Okay.
But I think Deontay weathered the storm early, and then maybe rounds 4 or 5, he started countering with the jab. You know, it looked like he was experimenting a little bit.
Okay.
And he came on really strong, like round 5, round 6, and round 7. Counter right hand, like that was
straight down the pipe.
And the amount of liquid that flew off his face. Did you see the sweat?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God! Like the first video that I seen of it was from like a camera. Somebody's phone in the crowd.
Yeah.
It was just the KO, you know, and the shot comes, and the amount of sweat that flies off of his face is incredible. I don't know if we've ever seen power like Wilder.
No, I don't think we have. You know what? And what's weird? You know, off of the Wilder fight, did Michael Venom Page fight twice in a month?
He did, and he's calling out Douglas Lima for a shot at the title.
He's got to.
However, Lima said, why don't you fight a ranked opponent and I'll be here waiting.
The 2 fighters he fought, why is he not fighting ranked opponents?
Lima was the only one in Bellator that he did fight. I mean, this is what I've been saying about Venom Page from the beginning. He's a paper champion, you know, like
he's never been a champ.
No, but you know, like in that essence, he fights nobodies. Like, you know, he makes himself look good by fighting the scrubs.
The lowest scrubs. Yeah, because I saw him fight, and I was like, damn, this fight just happened. It was a flying knee, knocks dude out clean.
Or like when he, you know, went up against Cyborg Santos. Yeah, I mean, he crushed his skull with a knee. And Cyborg was at one time a great striker in MMA, but what, 10 to 12 years before they fought, maybe?
Oh, wow.
You know? He fought a guy that was, you know, like 40 years old, way past his prime.
Yeah, because the first fight I saw, he hit the dude with the flying knee, knocked him out. And then the next one was a counter overhand, and he clocked the dude, knocked him out. The one thing I give Venom Page, like, he is a trash talker, but, like, he knows when he's knocked someone out, and he walks away. He doesn't go in for the kill because he knows he got it.
Well, and it's much more dramatic with a walk-off knockout.
Yeah, it is.
He loves the walk-off knockout.
He loves the walk-off.
Which I can't hate on. I like the walk-off knockout.
The
walk-off knockout is really cool.
Yeah, and he's like the master of that, but I did not
know.
know.
To somebody who's...
Yeah, you know, I didn't know that he wasn't fighting ranked guys. I didn't know he was fighting guys that were all under the top 10.
I challenge any viewer besides Cyborg or Douglas Lima, name one of his opponents.
I've seen 3 of his fights, and I don't know the name of the guy he fought. But also, I don't think I could name even 5 or 10 fighters in Bellator.
On the Bellator roster.
Yeah, on the Bellator roster.
You'd be surprised in the welterweight division. You know, in their division, you probably
he's welterweight?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was. I thought he was like light.
Yeah, no, he needs to fight like, you know, come over and fight, you know, Wonder Boy and fight Leon Edwards.
I mean, let's
somebody.
Let's go even lower than those guys, man. If he's not fighting ranked opponents in Bellator, he's got to fight way low. Fight Tyrone Woodley.
Right.
You know, let's see what happens there. All right, we have absolutely come to the time where we got to kill it off. Was there anything pressing then?
No, too long to read, and we can get to it.
All right, so that's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed our championship episode. Like I said, next week we're going to give you our pseudo BMF card. If they were to run another card as such, we have one for you next week. Tune in. We'll also preview the up and coming card. And until next week, we'll see you in the octagon. Have a good night.